Center on Guam's favorite I-94, Andy and Mariah in the AM. All right, Guam's favorite I-94 is second to one. Woo! So, I'll extra boy.
Guam's favorite I-94.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion. KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on Primetime, Guam Police investigates its own after a bingo operation was shut down in Tamuning. Plus, federal receivership over the Orda dump issue coming to a close. And the skinny on a bill introduced to change fitness standards for public safety officers. Half a day and good evening.
A popular bingo operation shut down, and now allegations have surfaced of Guam police officers abusing their authority to do so.
This after a raid was carried out at the Guam Greyhound location about a month back. Organizers now speaking out, hoping their story will get the attention of local leaders and the top brass of the police force to move on internal affairs investigation. It all started here. Michael Marasigan operated the half-a-day bingo for Guam Shriners at the Guam Greyhound Park, but on July 25th,
the police actually escorted me out and have halted the operation of the bingo.
Halting the operations that funds the mission of Guam Shriners, sending children to Hawaii to get life-changing medical treatment.
My main thing here is there's no warrant, there's no cause, there's no problem. The rent is being paid on time. Because of that action, we were escorted out. The organization, the nonprofit organization that helps out the kids for the Shriners to send kids to Hawaii, has been stopped. It's really sad what had happened. The cops would just go in there and take one side to it. I mean, it's like a fear. It's a fear. I mean, I hope this does not happen to anybody or any other citizen.
A complaint was filed with GPD's Internal Affairs.
Like any other administrative investigation or criminal investigation for that matter, is that we can't make any comment because of the fact that the investigation is ongoing.
The president of Guam Shrine Club, Al Guerrero, even wrote to Police Chief J.A. Cruz, following up with the investigation, stating that before the raid, they discovered accounting irregularities and other issues involving a woman who managed the operation. They notified that manager of the problem and terminated her involvement with the organization and its operation. The club's permit was renewed just last month and good for a year. However, Guerrero stated the manager in question showed up to the Tamuning property with police and had the employees escorted off the premises.
For them to escort me and to halt the organization who has the right to do bingo in that facility and who has been doing it for 2 years has been halted.
Chief Cruz says they are taking the allegations against his own seriously.
There's nothing that has led me to believe that those officers need to be placed on any kind of administrative duty at this point in time. So they still are on duty and they are serving in the positions that they were assigned to. The investigation is taking its course. So I will tell you, we treat this like any other administrative investigation.
Cruz says his IA officers have 60 days to investigate the allegations. For now, Michael hopes something is done sooner so that they can get back to raising money to help kids in need.
Just pray for us, and we will certainly fight for this. And hopefully we can actually open soon.
He was reportedly angry at his former landlord, prompting his attack on his landlord's wife. Patrick Rudolph now faces charges of attempted murder, first-degree robbery, and aggravated assault, all with special allegations for possession and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. On Monday, Rudolph allegedly went into Bang's Market in Jigo to meet his former landlord, who was asleep at the time. He recognized the cashier as his landlord's wife. She refused to sell him a can of beer, and he allegedly lashed out to attack the woman, as well as his landlord, who came out to stop the attack. During the fight, he reportedly yelled that the Bang family ruined his life. He later told police he was kicked out of the apartment he shared with his girlfriend. The victim confirmed this, stating Rudolph was known to get drunk and beat his girlfriend, which is why he was banned from staying in the apartment. Rudolph remains behind bars on $50,000 cash bail. The female victim, meanwhile, has undergone hours of surgery due to a blood vessel that was damaged during the attack.
6 former Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority board members, as well as current Executive Director Michael Duenas, all pleaded not guilty to misdemeanor charges on Wednesday morning. At issue is whether the board held secret meetings and predetermined how they'd vote on Gura matters. The former Gura board members are David Sablan, Cecile Suda, John Lau, Deanne Torrey, Roland Salvage, and Rosie Ann Blas. Though defense attorney Curtis Van Veld motioned to dismiss the charge against his client Suda, the court denied his motion. Chief Prosecutor Joseph McDonald with reaction.
He was trying to challenge the probable cause, and he's also trying to challenge the statute of limitations. And so I think the judge found probable cause, and he did not dismiss on statute of limitations.
Prosecution expects a written motion to follow. McDonald argued in the Superior Court a statute of limitations is not 1 year, but 3 years from the date of separation from the government for government officials. Rather, the alleged incident started in 2011, continued through 2015. A return hearing for all 7 defendants is set for August 31st before Judge Michael Berdalio.
We are at the finish line. Chief Judge Francis Todingo Gatewood making that point multiple times during today's status hearing regarding the post-closure of the order dump. The federal and local government went through the finances and plans of how GovGuam will manage once the receivership ends. It was stated in court today that it's anticipated GBB will no longer be the federal receiver by the end of this year. However, GBB Special Principal Associate David Manning shared some concern that transfer station contractors Cortec are at least 20% behind with the project. The company responded that much of the delay is caused by the recent heavy rainfall. Members of the Guam Solid Waste Authority Board also participated, as that agency will be taking over operations from GBB.
Guam Police Chief J.I. Cruz sounding off during a legislative session hearing in the Committee of the Whole, telling lawmakers that his request for more adequate funding is not part of a wish list for his department, but is necessary to keep his department functioning at its best.
Everything into consideration.
You know, Senator, if we are willing as leaders in this government to say that we're not going to outfit the Guam Police Department and we're not going to fund the Guam Police Department, and you short the Guam Police Department by 1 police officer, that's 1 police officer could respond to your house when it's being invaded and affect your family. And if we're willing to put a price tag on that, then by all means. If we're going to put a price tag on anybody's safety, then that's a decision that needs to be made here. $80,000.
And Cruz was adamant in telling lawmakers that every police officer and every dollar matters, stating that he meant no disrespect to lawmakers, but that he hears the plight of the community every day. The current budget bill would allocate $35 million, $3 million short of what GPD is requesting.
It's a bill aimed to save the state of public safety on Guam from a fitness law that could have crippling effects. Senator Talina Nelson introduced Bill 165 today. The legislation is in response to outcry from public safety officials who reported high failure rates for Guam's current standards, which mirrors that of the U.S. Air Force. Those who don't make the grade by the end of the year can't report for duty. Bill 165 proposes interim fitness standards, which notably decreases the 1.5-mile run to 1 mile and completely removes a measure of waist circumference. To read the bill in its entirety, visit our website.
Too little, too late. It seems 80 acres of land in Jigo will likely be given back to the federal government, and the Navy has plans to use this property for the military buildup. Isa Baza has more.
The Guam Department of Education was told there is very little chance it will be able to keep the marble property in Jigo that was conveyed from the U.S. Department of Education to Guam back in the 1990s. The land was supposed to be used to build a northern high school, but one was never built. 25 years later, and U.S. DOE is now hoping to reclaim the land, as the Navy has expressed interest in using it for the military buildup. Superintendent John Fernandez and Guam Education Board member Mark Mendiola discussed the issue with federal officials during a trip to the nation's capital earlier this month.
They basically told us that they don't believe that the reconveyance can be halted.
Unfortunately, it was before our time, and there was no real traction to build a high school in that site, which is about less than a mile away from Marine Drive, less than a mile away from Simon Sanchez High School.
While Guam DOE had plans to use the property for a middle college, Fernandez was told the Navy has plans to use it for other purposes.
Right now, I believe it's an exercise, military exercise area or a part of the buffer zone for that area. So it makes sense, and we can understand why the military might want that parcel back, because it sits right in the middle of other federal land.
Instead, he asked federal officials to consider a land swap, with U.S. DOE getting the Jigo property and Guam DOE getting land further south in Dedido.
We know there's an overall agreement with the government of Guam about a net negative impact from the military buildup. And because of that, we understand that if 80 acres is going back to the military, that's a positive 80 acres going to the military. We would like to see 80 acres being reduced, in the area that we've identified closer to Dedido.
Fernandez said the department will continue to work with local and federal officials to push the land swap forward. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
The Guam National Olympic Committee has put in a bid to host the 16th National Pacific Games in 2019. The bid is being backed by Governor DeCalvo, and he is now calling on the legislature to step up as well.
For Guam, because it exposes Guam to the Pacific, similar to how FESPAC did, but also it's important for our athletes, and we've already seen what's happening in the international scene.
The governor reached out to Speaker B.J. Cruz, expressing the need to collaborate. The last Pacific Games was hosted by Papua New Guinea in 2015.
And perhaps surprisingly, many people on social media were not in support of the concept of hosting the next Pacific Games, citing high priority problems with tax returns and legalizing medicinal marijuana, as well as lingering issues with last year's FESPAC.
So we want to know, do you think Guam should host the next Pacific Games in 2019? It's tonight's Pulse of the People poll, so sound off on how you feel on Twitter at KUAM News.
Well, stick around for more news here on Primetime.
You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
Have you gotten paid yet? That's the premium automatic insurance deduction plan from Calvo's Insurance. Paid simplifies your home and auto insurance. No down payment. No more long lines. And you can stretch your payments up to 12 months. Paid is convenient. It deducts from your payroll, your checking account, or your credit card. With Paid, you get up to 65% off your car insurance and enjoy lifestyle club discounts. Life can be easier when you get paid.
Call Calvo's Insurance today and save on your home and auto insurance.
This is Tabby. Tabby service provider's IT&E. This allows her to walk on campus without having to rely on Wi-Fi.
Hey, Abby. Hey, I switched to the IT&E student plan just like you. I love how affordable their plan is. I'm so glad I switched to IT&E. What?
Get up to 5 gigs a month for just $30 and the first 3 months free at IT&E.
Hyundai's summer clearance event is happening now at Guam's best dealership, Cars Plus and Mighty. With financing as low as 1.99%. There's no better time to drive a new Hyundai Accent, ranked highest in initial quality, starting at just $11,995. Or the new Hyundai Elantra starting at $16,995. SUV lovers, check out the new Hyundai Tucson starting at $19,995. Plus, every new Hyundai gets Guam's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. It's our Hyundai summer clearance event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Chuck E. Cheese's Guam is not all fun and games. Our pizza is delicious with the freshest toppings, oven-baked to order. Try the fresh salad bar, sandwiches, and don't forget our mouth-watering wings. Come and eat at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Welcome back. Island officials met this afternoon to discuss plans to strengthen homeland and regional security.
And as times change, so does the need for more modern policy to meet current threats and improve collaboration. Valerie Maige has the story.
Cyberterrorism, biosecurity, border security, and intelligence sharing are all contemporary challenges local law enforcement and first responders deal with. And in a meeting this afternoon, leaders discussed elements of legislation dubbed the Homeland Security and Emergency Act of 2017. In today's meeting, Senator Will Castro introduced provisions of the act which intends to modernize and revamp the 1951 enabling legislation that established the Office of Civil Defense. But Castro says this is a collaborative effort of subject matter experts like the heads of the Office of Civil Defense and Homeland Security, the Guam Police, the Department of Corrections, Guam Fire, and Guam Customs and Quarantine. Homeland Security Advisor Colonel George Charfus was present at the meeting and listed some of his priorities.
Number one, illicit drugs as a priority. Stop the drugs from coming in. Number two is cybersecurity, and I'll address that in more detail here because there's some legal implications of that. And number three is transnational criminal organizations, the Japanese Yakuza, Chinese Triad.
Customs Chief Vince Perez suggested the need for incorporating a task force approach, tying all agencies together with a memorandum of understanding to ensure agencies provide resources and information to one another. CNMI Representative Ivan Blanco was also part of today's dialogue.
What happens in Guam also affects the CNMI or vice versa, or U.S. territory, so the only way to protect ourselves is to work together.
Castro emphasized the government must be modernized to protect lives and property against all threats. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Valerie Maige.
A solemn ceremony at the Naval Base Guam Chapel today. A prayer service was held there for the sailors, family members, and friends of the USS John McCain. The search for 10 missing sailors has been ongoing since the guided missile destroyer and a merchant vessel collided early Monday. The bodies of some of the 10 missing sailors were found just yesterday by divers performing recovery ops inside the ship. The Navy also reporting that the Royal Malaysian found possible remains of another missing sailor. Search and recovery efforts are ongoing.
Screening will begin this Thursday for babies identified as having possible contact to the GMH employee with the active case of tuberculosis. Public health officials say GMH staff are reaching out to parents to schedule screening and evaluations at the hospital.
Challenges with TB at this age is that we cannot do a PPD skin test until they're 6 months of age. So we'll have some who are.
For parents who prefer to be seen at their respective clinics, a letter will be provided to their clinicians to get that taken care of. Health officials say a type of liquid treatment is recommended until screening can be done when the babies reach 6 months. If the infant tests positive, continued treatment is recommended until they reach 9 months. GMH is having issues contacting parents and asks all families whose babies were at the nursery between April 1st and August 8 to call 647-2552.
Just shy of 3 months, major road repairs on Hamburger Highway have been completed. In a ribbon-cutting ceremony held this morning, Governor Eddie Calvo thanks the Department of Public Works and Hawaiian Rocks for their hard work. For years, residents have dealt with the dilapidated conditions, potholes, and flooding, often causing vehicles to stall or traffic to back up. The project cost is estimated at $441,000.
It's time to check in with Valerie Maige with this week's Think Green.
Think Green. Presented by GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
The numbers for the Guam Power Authority's Energy Sense rebate program are growing, but that shouldn't discourage you from trying to get your hands on some extra cash.
Come in, GPA still got money for you.
GPA Customer Service Representative Brandon Tidegui says the program is over 3,000 customers strong, and they continue to encourage customers to take part in their program, giving options out like their trade allies, Agbayani Air Conditioning and Refrigeration in Mighty. Agbayani is another company participating in the rebate program where they offer unique warranties and services for your rebate product purchase. Project manager Mario Britton tells us how Agbayani helps their customers.
If you buy here, we will install it within 72 hours. If the unit that they bought comes out for whatever reason, manufacturers, we have a portable unit until we fix that unit, or we give them a new unit, because we have that 3+3.
Agbayani's 3+3 is a warranty program and a means to stand behind their products with 3 years of cleaning and 3 years of parts and labor. Agbayani offers Goodman brand air conditioning units, and Britton explains that by investing in the energy-efficient product, you'll get your money's worth.
We did the math in about a year and a half. You get your investment back because of the savings, because of the 3+3 and the program of rebate.
The Goodman brand ACs at Agbayani have SEER ratings between 16 to 22.5. The efficiency of air conditioners is often rated by the Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio, or SEER. So for ACs, the higher the SEER rating, the greater the efficiency. GPA's Taidagui continues to emphasize just how easy it is for customers to participate in the program.
Well, it really starts with a need for for your home. So if you need an AC, anything like that, come to one of our trade allies, Agbayani, one of our top ones. So they come in, they select, of course, the AC that's best for them, and go have it installed at their home, and then come in to apply for the rebate.
For this week's Think Green, I'm Valerie Maige.
Think Green, presented by GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Coming up in sports, Dave Delgado has the latest on the Faja Outlaws and how they are now without a practice field. But first, here's weather.
From the network that brought you up to 3 times more data comes the dawn of a new data. The epic story of Guam's only network brave enough to give 10 free gigs of bonus data on every line every month to customers who bundle their services. Reviewers are calling the offer totes awesome. Best deal ever. And yes.
Visit GTA.net for details.
At Shell, it's about offering more than just fuel. It's about providing service to people. From hot coffees to warm welcomes, from clean bathrooms to fresh food, we're on a mission to make you leave happier than when you arrived. So whatever your journey, we're here. Welcome to service. Welcome to Shell. Serving the islands for over 30 years. Share your story at Shell Foodies Guam on Instagram and Facebook. Hashtag Station Stories, hashtag Shell Guam.
The Down Syndrome Association of Guam exists to support families of individuals with Down syndrome. We're a group of parents who have children with Down syndrome and know the joys and challenges of raising them. For more information about the health, development, and education of a child or adult with Down syndrome, please contact Vicky Ariola at 472-6114.
How do you want to live? As a decent person? Good husband? Is that it? Good? Of course not. King of the hill? Better. Top of your game? Win. All powerful. Like a boss. Like a pro. We couldn't agree more. We are professional grade. Step up to GMC and get over $10,000 total value on specially equipped Sierra Crew Cab SLT vehicles.
Visit Autospot GMC today.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We start the show off tonight with youth football news as the Faja Outlaws are looking for a new practice field. This after the PD mayor sent the team packing. Here's Chris Barnett with the story.
The Outlaws have been kicked out. The Guam National Youth Football Federation organization finding itself without a practice field after PD Mayor Jesse Allig and his municipal council unanimously voted to boot the team from the field in PD they were practicing on. Mayor Allig telling KUAM Sports in a phone convo, quote, "There are a lot of villages on Guam. Maybe some other village can welcome them." And according to both sides, social media played a part in the battle. Joel Imtiaco, a former coach with the Outlaws, resigning from the team in an attempt to cool down hot tempers after his Instagram post called out the mayor for unsafe field conditions. Mayor Allig calling the post, quote, disrespectful, but Outlaws VP Jay Tamayo disagrees.
At the end of the day, what he was talking about was the safety of our kids and our athletes out here. I mean, if they were to go down on this gravel, they would definitely get hurt. I'm a teacher at Jose Rios. I coach 2 sports. And we utilize this field all the time. That's a safety concern even for me. The fact that that it's overlooked and we're upset over a social media post, man, it seems kind of petty to me.
So instead of taking to the field, Outlaws players and parents and even reps from other teams in the GNYFF took to the side of the road in Petey to voice their concerns about Mayor Alec's decision.
For the future, we hope to make it better when we're in charge.
With many of the kids telling KUAM Sports they play ball to keep busy and represent the South and Mayor Alec's village, Petey.
We have players along with cheerleaders, and we also have 2 coaches that are from this village, the beautiful village of Petey.
Outlaws reps say the tension started when Alec took office, replacing longtime Petey Mayor Ben Gumatautau. The team had a good relationship with Gumatautau, but the Outlaws say Mayor Alec was not as accommodating. With other fields in the South deemed unsafe or without lights, Petey became a go-to for the team, but it came with some problems when Alec's administration started in January. They say they had to wait for the lights to get turned on, bathrooms to be opened, and when Petey Fiesta rolled around, damage to the field was repaired with gravel. When Outlaws officials tried to reach out to the freshman mayor, they say it was like talking to the wall.
Any public official has to be open to speaking with people, and in light of all of this, we've tried to reach out to him. We sent him a letter, we sent him an email, we had our parents call. To make this happen for them, to fight for them, to give the kids a voice. Who knows where we'll be tomorrow.
Mayor Alec told KUAM Sports, quote, "It's always about the kids. It's a refrain we hear a lot from politicians when it's election time. But the Outlaws kids feel let down and shortchanged, caught in the middle and left out in the cold. They've got a big game Sunday, and it's clear they expected more from Mayor Alec. Now, ironically, Alec ran on a campaign to improve recreation activities for the youth in the village. One Outlaw player, young Edge Esquadra, had a simple message for the mayor.
The mayor should be supporting the kids.
to name you Primitiva, but your mother